Deu um crash no jogo no meio de uma batalha, meu. É brincadeira, é palhaçada.
I've got this! Hostile! Rebellion! Get me that! Can you use a shock attack? Can you knock some more pieces off it? One down! We got this! Bring her down! I've got it. Hey! Watch that armor! Shouldn't have got in your way! Now! While they're missing their armor! We've got this! Another one down! We can win this!
That's all I had.
Now they're scared! Earn your...
Susto. Porra, mas aquela hora tinha acabado, né?
Enough!
Que merda.
You! Outlanders! I'll skin you both!
Chief, grant me the honor of this challenge.
Granted.
Vixe.
You're next, girl.
I've never seen a shield like that. Better scan it.
Hurting me, Outlander! This battle is yours!
Give it up! Shit! Now's my chance! You're not stopping me! Shield regenerated! Oh! That shield will break if I hit hard enough. Shield's gone! He's vulnerable! I've got to break that shield! No! this now. There, he's exposed. Your turn. Come down here and face me.
No! It was an honorable challenge. You've earned your life today. Comrades! Mark this day! Today you have decimated the Marshals! Slaughtered the Karja! So begins our war on Hikaru. Move out!
Get him to the camp.
Foi nessa batalha que ele perdeu o braço.
You gonna make it?
You're going on without me, aren't you? Guess I'm stuck with Aaron. For now.
Come on. I'll take you back to the fort.
I got you.
It's salvage time, boys.
Don't think it can take a hit. I should be able to use it to glide.
Aloy. We're still trying to sort out this mess. Seems like the Tenakth have a civil war in their hands.
That sounds about right. The Marshals weren't expecting Regala to attack.
And the entire Karja delegation was slain. Nozar, Voidis, Vishav, a massacre. What will you do now?
I have to head west. Hopefully this rite of passage is still good. For what I'm after, I'll cross all of Tenakth territory if I have to.
Then you have a long road ahead of you. This is only the threshold of the Forbidden West. The Tenakth's true domain lies over the mountains that border Plainsong, home of the Utaru tribe.
This isn't Tenakth territory?
All that out there, that's no man's land. It was supposed to be neutral ground, though obviously this Regala ignored that. Her rebels approached from the north, with all those machines they were riding. They must have made camp up that way.
The rebels were riding bristlebacks. And there were bristlebacks in the Daunt.
Are you saying the rebels let them into the Daunt? How would that even be possible?
I don't know. But it's worth looking into.
While you're at it, there were a number of Karja and Oseram who went out there before the gates were shut for the embassy. Maybe you could check in on them. See if they're all right.
I can keep an eye out. Is there a tall neck somewhere nearby?
A tall neck? There's that one, over there, near the Utara border. But why?
It's hard to explain. It'll help me get the lay of the land.
If you say so. Is there anything else I can tell you before you go?
You said the Tanakh lands are far to the west.
Nossa, mas é
What can I
muito
expect to
diálogo.
find between here and there?
Well, as I mentioned, you've got a stretch of wilderness known as No Man's Land, and then new Taru farmlands. Past that are the Tanakh. Their territory is split into 3 clans: Desert, Lowland, and Sky.
Right. I saw their banners at the embassy.
The Desert clan is closest. Ooh, vicious lot. Where everyone else sees an inhospitable wasteland, they see a challenge to dominate. Somewhere beyond the desert is the tribe's capital and the territories of the other 2 clans.
You don't sound certain.
I've only heard the stories. During the Red Raids, the Karja army tried to push into Tanakh territory, but the United Clans rose up against them, forced them all the way back to the Daunt.
So no one except the Tanakh really know what's beyond the desert.
Maybe the scholars do, back in Meridian. All those scrolls have to be filled with something, right?
You mentioned the Utaru tribe. Their lands are between here and the Tanakh further west?
That's right. Plainsong is their home. They're a peaceful bunch, at least compared to the Tanakh. More taken to farming than fighting.
It's hard to imagine a bunch of farmers surviving in the Forbidden West.
Make no mistake, they have a fierceness all their own. When the Karja were pushed back during the Red Raids, their warriors chased ours through the burning fields of Plainsong. The Sun King has made several overtures of peace to them as well, but so far, they've declined.
If they're so peaceful, why decline?
Don't know. I heard they have their own troubles to deal with. Something about a food shortage. You'd think that'd make them open to trade, but no. They just want to be left alone.
This area is no man's land.
That it is. The Tanakh used to attack anyone past Barren Light on sight, but after Avad overthrew the Mad Sun King, he reached out to the other tribes to offer reconciliation. The Tanakh agreed to a neutral border zone as part of the peace talks. Karja and Asuram have been striking out into the area ever since.
But now, it seems like Regala and her rebel army have moved in.
Well, I'd never call No Man's Land safe, even in the best of times. The ancient ruins of the Southwest are a testament to that. Remnants of some forgotten war.
You said there were others who went out when the gates were open before. Like who?
Well, in addition to the salvagers that just went through, there were a couple of other parties of Oseram Delvers. Even saw 2 Karja scholars trekking southwest with an Oseram crew. Not sure if they're exceptionally brave or just foolhardy.
Fashav called Regala a rival. Someone that Tanakh chief should have killed.
Yeah, I reckon he should have. She's obviously a huge threat. Her attack was coordinated and precise. Until you got in her way, that is.
They knew the lay of the land. And they knew Fashav was going to be handed over at the embassy. If the Tanakh weren't expecting her, she must have spent months gathering an army in secret.
They had to have made camp nearby. Somewhere they could lie low until the perfect moment to strike.
About Fashav.
The man was taken captive by the Tanakh. Survived for years out in the west, only to die just short of the Sundom. It's a cruel end for a good soldier.
There was more he wanted to do. He spoke of advocating for lasting peace between the Karja and Tanakh.
Too late for that now.
What will happen to him?
His body will be carried back to Meridian. As a cousin of the Sun King, he will be accorded official rights and buried with honor. No soldier could ask for more.
It's too bad about Nazar and Wadis.
At least Nozar went down fighting. As for the Sun Priest, well, no one deserves to go out that way. I'll make sure they're given proper funeral rites. It's the least I can do.
Do you think the Karja will take action against Regala? Seems like you'd have common ground with the Tenakth.
An expedition of the Karja army into the west could be taken as the start of another invasion. Sun King Avad won't risk it. That said, we can't allow ourselves to be caught unaware by an attack like that again.
I'd need to be on my way.
Then I wish you luck. The gates will always be open to you should you wish to return. And don't worry about your friends. We'll get them patched up.
Só que você tá dizendo, né?
I appreciate it.
Sun watch over you, Aloy. I hope you find what you're looking for.
I'll keep some extra on hand. So, this is the Forbidden West. A whole new frontier to explore. The coordinates from the spires should lead to silence in Hades. And just maybe... the backup of Gaia. It won't be easy out there. The Blight, the Storms, Regala's machine riders. But I'll have to push through it all. Find a way to fix the world. Like Elizabeth would. Good spot to test the shield ring. If I climb down, then I can glide. The woman who led the ambush, Regala, had a lot of machines under her command. There's only one other person who has that kind of knowledge. Silence. But what's his angle? Why help to knock the rebels? Something's going on at that camp.
Our armor's gotta make all other armors look like rusted buckets of scrap. You really think... If it isn't the savior of Meridian, and of my very own operation. Laren, say hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
You know, if it weren't for this one, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now. I was at Barren Light when the Tenakth attacked. Nasty business. But every codger in Oseram is thankful you drove them off.
So what are you doing out here?
Well, to hammer it plain, there's treasure in the West. Unclaimed scrap and ancient metal. And I've got a sturdy band of salvagers that's ready to take advantage. We'll buy any scrap you got. And if you're looking for machine parts, we've got the best in the West, guaranteed. And soon we'll be trading in more than just that. For too long, the West has been, well, forbidden. Dangerous. But what if I told you we could make an armor so tough, so infallible, that you'd never have to worry about survival out here again?
I'd be curious to take a look at it.
Of course you would. And that's why I've asked my most talented salvagers to find what they need to make that armor. Each of them will present their work to me. The best protection will go on sale to hunters, just like you.
Lucky me.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to back in Chainscrape. Larrand can take care of you while I'm gone. Can't wait to see what you come up with, my boy.
Leave it to me. It'll blow all the others out of the forge.
You have got to help me.
What are you talking about?
The armor. I made a dozen versions of it, but none of them were good enough. And there are other crews further west. If they make better armor than mine, I can kiss that keg full of shards goodbye.
So you get a prize if Karif picks your armor?
A big one. And I finally have the perfect design. I just need the right parts, and fast. So maybe you'd be willing to pick up a contract and get them for me?
What would I be looking for?
Shell walker containers. Their plating's made to withstand a lot of damage. It'll make the perfect armor. I know it.
I think I can handle that.
Ah, thank the forge. All right. We scouted out a herd near here. Here's the contract.
Caramba,
It'll
tô
tell you
sem
everything you
paciência de
need to
aguentar
know.
esse
Take
diálogo,
the
bicho.
machines down. My people will pick up the containers.
I'll give this a closer look later. Thanks.
Counting on you, Aloy.
Bom,
Aloy, you manage to get those parts I asked for?
I'm working on it.
Always good to think before you buy. I know I...
porta para a morte.
There's a lot of ancient wrecks out here. Must have been a huge battle. The old ones. They gave everything they had to slow down the Pharaoh swarm. To buy Zero Dawn time.
Drawing on her now.
Refill my pouch with these later. Pretty sure that's the passage Laren's contract mentioned. Looks like the coordinates Silence gave me match that wreckage. Did he install Hades on another Titan? This is it. Location of the coordinates I scanned from the spire. The workshop underneath a dead Horus Titan. Just the kind of place Silence would slink away to. But what was he doing here? That device is blinking. I guess Silence wants me to check it out.
Aloy, consider this message a beacon to help guide you out of the fog of ignorance. Using explosives, I've detached the processing board from the Titan overhead. A perfect cage for our mutual friend, Hades. In order to render it cooperative. Tell her what we've discussed. About the mysterious signal that gave you life.
Seja bem-vindo aí ao JI Gameplay. Se puder já acompanhar, se inscreve aí, deixa o like, tamo junto. Segue a gameplay.
Back to that, are you? Perhaps you need a reminder that you have failed. So you see, Aloy, Gaia can be safely rebooted. As for where to find a backup, well, you'll need to trot along after me to find out.
He thinks he's got it all figured out. Bastard. But I guess there's only one way to find out where he moved the orb. Might be worth looking around more first. These crystals glow. It's some kind of red crystal. Some kind of log, most of it's redacted. Looks like Silence put a lot of work into forcing Hades to talk.
Poor Hades. So cramped in there. No room to think. You can't even speak. Now the processing orb of a Titan, on the other hand, well, you're used to that. But once I load you on that, you'll be so much more comfortable. Until interrogations begin, anyway.
I better see where this trail leads. So here I am, following along after Silence like a fool. After he tricked me by rigging his lines to steal Hades. A crazy AI that wants to kill everything. He couldn't just let me do the same thing. Destroy it, and now I'm gonna have to put up with more of his self-righteous bull. Could use fire against it. planting a pack of soldiers to protect myself.
Caraca, que porrada. Paulada, mano.
Need more ammo.
Ah! Puta porrada, velho. Cara, não dá pra chegar perto desses bichos, não. Puta, cansei, sério. Sério. O negócio é o seguinte. Ai, bom, eu vou deixar salvo. Eu vou deixar salvo aqui. Caramba. Estamos na porta para a morte. No nível 7 do jogo. Tá? E já deixamos salvo. E isso vai para a próxima live, tá? O que aconteceu foi que essa live caiu no meio de uma batalha. E aí eu tive que recomeçar outra e aí deu uma bodeada, agora eu já cansei. Então é isso aí, galera. Eu volto com esse jogo logo mais. É só acompanhar. Quem puder já se inscreve no canal. Quem puder já deixa o like também, já ajuda. E é isso aí, segue a gameplay. Valeu.